All right, y'all, let's get straight to the point. You just bought a DJ controller. You have no idea what to do. There's so many buttons. Oh my gosh, I'm going to help you out with that. What is going on, guys? KrysticMusic here. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, welcome. We're glad to have you. It's about time I made an updated video on this for 2025, going into 2026. I'm seeing a lot of people buy their first DJ controller similar to this one, right? Like it's a beginner DJ controller, whatever the case may be. Amazon, there's a whole bunch of options out there. This is a Pioneer DDJ-SR. Basically, it all functions the same, right? There's going to be the same kind of buttons, same kind of knobs. So first of all, you're going to get your DJ controller, take it out of the box, behold its glory, and then you're going to go through the instructions, right? There may be a website to go through, a registration code / number that you got to put in that came with your DJ software. This particular one came with Serato DJ Pro, which is a majority of what DJs are using. There's a whole bunch of them. It really doesn't matter which one you use as long as you're comfortable with it and as long as you can mix on it, right? And I did set up the view this way, so this is my right hand and this is my left hand, so you guys can easily tell where I'm going, right? If there's any drivers, it'll tell you what drivers to install, what website. Usually nowadays they're just plug and play, so you really don't have to do much. You just plug it into your laptop or PC and it'll start working. So right off the bat, just looking at the software you open, if you have Serato, great. If not, it's going to be similar. So as you can tell on the left here, there's a bunch of options for when it comes to music, right? There you can sync your Apple Music, Beatport, BeatSource, SoundCloud, Spotify, Tidal, you know what I'm saying? Or you can load in your own, which I have here is just some copyright-free music that I can show y'all a couple techniques on. So that's what we're going to be using for this video, but feel free to connect any of your other, Spotify, SoundCloud to the actual program so you can just seamlessly mix music and import songs and all that good stuff. So we'll just go through it. You have your two DJ decks, right? Your two DJ little decks here. Your jog wheels, your pitch wheels, you know what I mean? You have your sync button, your cue buttons, your cue pads here that you can use, right? You might have some cue pads, cue markers, whatever you want to call them, some hot cue points, and then any effects, right? This one has a couple of effects here, a sampler built in if you have any samples you wanted to use. So on the DJ deck itself, we'll look at this one. You have the tempo, which you can control, which is very important. You have your crossfader in between the two decks, right? This one has 4 decks. They're just virtual, right? So I have the 2 right here, and then if I want, I have like 2 more right here on these 2. And then you have your effects here and the amount of the effect, right? You can see on the software, it's on the repeater right now. That's the delay, and then this is the reverb. So you can change the effects by, doing any of these effects that you want. You can use them to transition in between songs, etc., right? And of course, your actual controller will tell you what stuff is. So this section here is like a little auto loop section, so I can auto loop. If I wanted to just play a certain section on a song, I can like make the loop longer or shorter if I wanted to. Basically, this is going to be your DJ deck. You're going to have 2 of them. And then this is going to be like your crossfader EQ type of thing. So you're going to have like a volume level. You're going to have a high filter, a mid filter, and a low filter. So like your bass, the mids mainly for like a little bit of vocals and instruments and stuff like that. And then the highs for your very high, so very high frequencies, vocals, stuff like that. And you're also going to have two of these kind of filters, right? Usually the low end is going to be like a low pass filter, and then as you go higher and higher, it's going to be a high pass filter, which means only the low frequencies pass. So I can show you with this kind of song right here. So if I just wanted the low frequency, it's just the low frequency, the low frequencies are passing through, right? If I just want the highs, it's the high filter. So that's that kind of filter that you see with most DJ decks, right? When you're transitioning in between song to song. So that's the turntable. All the other stuff is extra to each individual DJ controller. Like this knob here is like a mouse, right? I can choose what song I want to choose. I can load one up onto this DJ deck. And every time you load a song onto Serato DJ and most other DJ softwares, it'll tell you what BPM it is and what key it is. On this video, we're only going to focus on the BPMs for now. There's a whole chart that I'll put up on screen right now, which you can match the BPM and you can also match the key of a song. That's why you see this right here with 5A, 4A, 7B, 7B, 1A. You know what I mean? So you can know what those are and what mixes close to another. I'll make another video on that. Basically, your mix will sound amazing if you follow a certain set of rules. You cannot make it sound bad as long as you follow the rules. You know what I'm saying? But just be creative with it as well. So with that out of the way, we can go ahead and get into the mixing and beat matching. So if you wanted to practice mixing, you can definitely just start off with putting them at the same BPM if they're not already. So this one is at 126 BPM. I'll just take you through what I do when I load up a song. So I load up this song. I put where I want to start it, right? I'm going to take my mouse here because I'm being lazy, and I can choose exactly where I want to start it, right? And these cue points are saved to the software and your DJ deck, right? So if you're at a party, this will be saved there, so you don't have to do this every time you log in, right? So let's say I wanted to start it kind of right here. It looks like this is where the action kind of happens, just based on the waveforms, right? The transients and everything like that. So we go, I want to start it here, so I'm going to put a cue point there. So no matter where I go in the song, that's always going to be my cue point. And this specifically, if I hold the cue point, it's going to play as long as I hold it. And if I just want to play it, I just go back to the cue point, and I just press play. And these cue buttons, right? This is basically saying I want to hear it in my headphones. So for example, you can hear it, right? If I turn this volume down, I can still hear it in my headphones. That's how you can mix ahead of time while your audience is listening to the current song. You can be practicing mixing your second song, right? So that's what these cue buttons are. If I didn't already say that, and this is a crossfader, those are your levels, right? I have it on 2 channels so I can check which one's higher, which one's lower. The master is just the whole thing in general. Now that you caught your cue point for the first song, so before you even start the mix, I recommend putting the tempos the same. So in this one, we're just going to put it at 126, right? So it's the same tempo, and you see these kind of markers right here. Let me check my mouse. So you see these kind of markers. They're basically a little helpful guide for you to line them up. You see how these are lined up now? So it's basically almost going to always be on beat, right? Depending on what your song is sounding like, right? So we got this song ready. Let's go ahead and get this song ready. Let's say we just loaded it up. Let's say I want to start it from right here where there's like a little breakdown happening, it looks like. So I want to start it right there, put my cue point. So there I know where my 2 cue points are. So just a basic, easy mix for you to feel good and get the hang of it, right? You just want to play out whatever song first you want to play out, and then mix your new song into it, because it's going to be the same speed. You don't have to do much but press play, right? And use the volumes, right? And that is just like for your first couple times of mixing, just to get the hang of your DJ controller. So that's what we're going to do right now, as if like you're like following along, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just press this one, and then we're just going to mix it by using the volume knobs here, or you can either do it with the crossfader, whichever one you want to do. I'm going to play this song, and this song is going, I'm going to turn it up just a little bit more because I don't know how it sounds on y'all's end. But we're going to go ahead and, so now I can go ahead and just play this. And it's on beat, and it's beat matched. So once you get comfortable with that, you can go ahead and do the same thing, but now you can take some of the sounds out. So for example, most of the time we don't want 2 basses at the same time, because they kind of, if you think about 2 basses, so think about it this way. If you have 2 frequencies, so let's say the basses, right? Because they're kind of the same frequency. So visually, this is what happens when you have the same frequency, right? So instead of the frequency shining and, you know, the audience can hear it, it's just going to, if you have 2 of the same frequencies, it's going to clash with each other, and imagine it kind of compressing against each other, right? It's not gonna be able to shine and peek through. So you want to have either one or the other, depending on the song that you're using, right? Especially if they both have kicks, right? For this example, which is why I chose this one, as you can tell, you see the big transients, the pink and the greenish color. So this one doesn't really have bass. It's kind of like a breakdown, right? It just has that piano, right? So in this case, if you wanted to use the full range of the song, you can. If you want to take the bass out, it'll just sound like this, right? As the bass comes up. And then if you wanted to add the bass comes in with the song that you're kind of mixing into it, right? So that's just a step further, right? Besides just the volumes, you want to, whatever you take out, you want to put in with the other track, right? And vice versa. So just picture a straight line. You kind of want to get the line as straight as you can, right? And that's why it's easy to put like a low pass filter or a high pass filter when you're mixing a song, because it just does all that for you, right? So let's say if this song had a vocal, I would just want to take out the bass because I want the vocal to come through, if that makes sense. I don't want to take out the whole sound because the vocal is not going to come through if I just put the low pass, right? And if I take the high pass, I'm not going to get any of the middle vocal. So that's just completely beginner basic kind of mixes you want to get familiar with. It's just the volume, and then whatever you take out on one song, you put back in on the other, and then it leads to the mix. Your DJ controller or turntable will have like a scratch feature, right? And then it'll have like kind of like a pitch correct kind of jog wheel, right? So on this one, try to pay attention to the jog wheel and then the little tick marks, because it's just subtle changes that you can use. So as you can see, little by little, it's going and lining up, right? So those are the minor tweaks that the audience can't hear. Of course, you don't want your song to be playing and going like this, right? So the song still plays, but it's just gradual, you know what I'm saying? And there is also a key lock feature if you don't want it to, you know, go on and off, because everybody's DJ controller is different. On the actual software, it's located here. That's what this button is. Especially if you have like a singer singing, it won't go high or low. It'll be key locked, so it's in the same key. But if you want to get creative, you can change the whole vibe of a song because you're changing the melody, right? But it's just up to you. If you kind of don't want your vocals to sound like, you know, Minnie Mouse or Optimus Prime, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just up to you on what you wanted to do, if you wanted to use key lock or not. So basically that's beat matching. I'll do it one more time, so you can kind of see, and then you can do it on your own. Both our cue points, right, lined up. So I'm going to play this song, and then we're going to mix in this track, kind of just using our like low pass filter or whatever you want to do, right? You can even mix it in with a filter if you want. Basically, it's all up to you. But for now, we're just making sure everything is on beat, which is 126 BPM, right? Let's go ahead and see. So just using the little beat markers, you can kind of tell they're kind of in sync. So that's just the BPMs, right? And it does sound a little off because they're not exactly in the same key. So that's later on, and I'll definitely make a video about that next. Right there, we were just focusing on, is it on beat? And did I take one song out, put the other one in, however you want to do it, right? So taking it a step further, let's say you're doing this live, right? Let's say this is 126 and this is playing and want to mix this. I'll notice in my headphones that, hey, this is faster, it's at 128. So you already know that you have to make it slower. If you want to make it slower, I just go past it, right? Because there's no sense in trying to find the perfect, you know, BPM, right? So this one, it's like 2, so you don't have to go that far. But if it was a little bit farther, it would work even better. But what I do, if you can see on my right hand here, so let's say this is playing, I'll play it kind of real low. So I would go past, right? So right now I'm at 128, I would go past, I'm at 124, and then I just slowly go up until it's at 126. And then I'll be able to kind of throw it in, or you can do it while it's already playing, right? Because you have it in your earphones, you're just kind of messing around with it. And you're at 126, right? And you just kind of use the jog wheel and match it up. And everything's kind of matched up, right? So that's kind of like the basis of how to kind of beat match. Basically, it is what it is, right? You're just matching the beat to another song. The better you get at it, you can add in effects, you can repeat something, you can add a sample. So this is what you kind of want to master when you first start getting into your like DJing, is just beat matching, right? Just practice, practice, practice. You know what I mean? Let me know if you have any questions, if you want me to get more in depth with certain, you know, switching to certain genres. I also leave my other video as well Just so you have two kind of reference points. These are just like a random copyright free song, so they're not like the best songs out there, you know what I'm saying? Let me know if you want more DJ content, more kind of tutorials. I will leave some videos I have that I uploaded using this controller, so you can see what the mix actually sound like, and you can actually see me mix. I am going to try to put some more DJ mixes on the channel just so y'all can kind of know what it'll look like just the final mix, the audio plus visual, so you can kind of see what does what and how it sounds like once you get a mix and record it and everything like that. But anyways, that'll be it for today. Let's hope this helped you. Again, this was just for a beginner guide. You just got your DJ controller, so congratulations. This is like the best feeling ever when you're just in your room or before a party or before you actually perform or anything like that, and just kind of mess around. And if something sounds good that you didn't expect to sound good, you're like, that is the best feeling ever. And you like write it down because you don't want to forget what you mixed with what and what part and all this stuff. But anyways, hope y'all have a good one. As always, keep listening to music, keep making music. My name is CrysticMusic, and I'm out. Peace.